Let's face it, guys, we've been bombarded with so much nutrition information these days that in some ways, can you say that maybe it makes it easier to be knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition more now than ever? Sure, but when so much of the information has been polluted and has been so wrong for so many years, this actually makes it super confusing to know how to eat healthy, to know how to be healthy.
Look at you! I know, staying in shape. I'm on an all-protein diet, but I'm also doing carbs.
To know what food is actually fuel and what food is just garbage. And also, let's be honest, the information has been wrong for so many years, dating back to when I was in high school. I'm sure it was wrong before I was in high school. I'm sure there was plenty of bad nutrition information 100 years ago, especially due to the whole Rockefeller education system, the whole medical industrial complex, which the poor food ends up feeding in the end, who's actually funding certain studies and whatnot, as you guys may have heard me talk about in numerous other videos. But anyways, I'm here to clear some things up for you guys who are interested in nutrition and becoming your best, healthiest selves. I'm here to educate you guys a little bit from what I know from all of my research over the years on eating well. And so in today's video, I'm going to tell you guys the 5 biggest nutrition mistakes that I used to make back in high school. And hopefully in doing so, I can help you guys avoid some of these mistakes for yourselves, no matter what age you are. So let's get to the video now. Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I am Jared Weiss, and if you guys didn't know, that must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of this video. Follow me on every platform. I post regularly everywhere, so check me out wherever you guys listen to content. I'm there. So now, let's just clear some things out of the way before we dive into the 5 biggest nutrition mistakes I used to make back in high school. First off, the mainstream guidance was trash back when I was in high school, and it's probably even more trash these days.
You're just like me. Trash!
Even the food pyramid is complete nonsense, and most of the time it ends up leading you towards the standard American diet, which as we all know is complete garbage and has led to the increase in rates in obesity and chronic disease and whatnot. And the even sadder thing is that even most of the stuff that I learned while in college when it came to nutrition was complete nonsense and was not very good or truthful information.
Fake.
Most of what I learned was through personal experience with my own health story and all the research I've done, whether it be through books, podcasts, talking with some of the best holistic nutrition experts out there. But I think I know a little something when it comes to nutrition. Also, a little bit of backstory. So I actually have been interested in nutrition since I was in about 7th or 8th grade. I wanted to know how to improve my sports performance. I wanted to know how to become a better athlete and how to become a healthier overall person. And this led me to going on certain websites, trying to find out the best nutrition information. This led to me trying out different diets and whatnot. Some probably not the best ideas. Others would lead me towards learning what actually was the truth in nutrition. And so here I am today to help you guys to not make some of the mistakes that I made and to talk about what I've learned.
I'm here to learn, everybody!
And as you guys know, I have plenty of other nutrition videos on the channel, so you guys have probably heard me talk about what I know when it comes to nutrition anyways. But being a high school student who was interested in nutrition, who was trying to learn things on menshealth.com or clicking on whatever came up on Google 10 plus years ago. I'm not old, guys. You're only as old as you feel. I'm still a kid at heart. But anyways, being someone who was interested in nutrition from such a young age and going through all the bad information that was out there, I was able to sift through it, experience it for myself, and I live on to tell you guys what I believe to be the best principles when it comes to nutrition and what I've learned along my healing journey as well from my life-threatening illness, as far as what's helped me to fuel myself and to continue aiding my own healing process. And now, on to the first mistake I made back in high school when it came to nutrition. The first mistake I made was thinking that all calories were created equal. We hear it so much in pop culture these days, and this has been going on for years now, that calories are the issue, calories are the problem, and so therefore you just have to burn as many calories as possible. It's all just about calories in, calories out, and there's nothing more that goes beyond that. Now, if you guys want to hear my deep dive on this topic, you guys can actually check out, I think this may have even been my 2nd ever or 3rd ever Hard Truths video talking about how all calories are not created equal and how there's so much more that goes beyond this. But for the purposes of this video, when all you're hearing people talk about is, oh, I have to lose calories, or oh, I have to cut my calories out. But if you're cutting out high quality foods such as grass-fed meats, fruits, vegetables, organic high quality food, if you're cutting out those calories, then you're not going to be fueling yourself properly. There's so much more that goes beyond just the calories, just the energy value of that food. It's a matter of how many calories you need based on your activity needs. It's about the quality of the food, whether it's organic or whether it's laced with pesticides, herbicides, chemicals, GMOs. All that stuff is going to influence whether that food is processed as fuel for the body and for the brain and for all of your needs, or whether it's received as poison and that's going to make you gain weight and it's going to make you feel worse, perform worse, etc, etc. So guys, calories are not the issue. It depends on the quality of the food, it depends on the sourcing of the food, it depends whether you're overeating, and caloric needs are going to be different for every person because we all have different activity levels, we all have different lifestyle habits, we all have different stressors. And so in spite of what you may have been taught, or in spite of what you may hear some of the fitness experts quote unquote talking about online,
you might think you lift, but do you even?
All calories are not created equal, and so if you were to try losing weight or getting healthier just by cutting calories, you could be getting some dangerous habits. You could be depriving yourself of nutrition, because the other piece to this is that there's a difference between empty calories
It's just empty calories and milk curiosity, eh, Georgie?
versus nutrient-dense calories. Your body needs dense, nutritious foods as opposed to things like candy, pasteurized dairy, non-ethically raised meat, pesticide-laden vegetables. Those are all going to be processed differently by your body, and those are all going to have a different physiological effect on your body and the way that your body processes these foods. Especially these days, the sourcing of the food is going to matter so much more than just the type of food. And so there's a big difference between eating glyphosate-filled grains as opposed to high-quality, organic, sprouted, soaked or sprouted, following ancient practices, ancestral-based grains. There's also a difference between eating CAFO-raised meat as opposed to ethically raised meat. Especially these days, when thousands and thousands of chemicals are being allowed in our food supply and in our homes, you need to be getting the highest quality calories that you can. And there's so much more that goes into losing weight beyond just burning as many calories as possible too. So that's enough for number one. Now let's go to number two. The second biggest mistake that I used to make back in high school when it came to nutrition was thinking that you have to eat 5 meals a day in order to build muscle. So something like this is going to come straight from Bodybuilder magazine or Gym Bro principles. But is that actually the healthiest way to gain muscle? Is that actually the healthiest way to be fueling your body? I would say most of the time, no. There are certain lifestyles that may be able to accommodate that, but like, our bodies were actually not designed to be eating so frequently throughout the day.
You took my only food! Now I'm gonna starve!
To be having snacks every hour, to be constantly consuming more food and forcing our body to have to digest all day, as opposed to being able to focus on healing, being able to work on other areas of the body beyond just digestion. But in modern times, we've been convinced that you have to constantly be keeping the metabolism going in order to gain muscle, and so therefore you have to be eating throughout the day, constantly consuming more and more food. Even though when you see it this way, I still look good. I was still able to get away with this because I was so active, and I was able to get away with this because my intentions were in the right place, and I was being intentional with my nutrition and with my body. But I wouldn't say that doing this is the healthiest way to gain weight, and it's not the healthiest way to gain muscle. I would say to focus on each meal being nutrient dense and only eating when you're hungry, not just forcing food down your throat, because doing this is going to create metabolic issues, this is going to create blood sugar issues, and this is going to lead to more unhealthy eating habits down the line. You want to be enjoying every meal, you want to be eating clean, eating as clean as you can at every meal, not just forcing more food down your throat. I mean, my bro RJ only eats 1 meal a day, and if you look at him, he's shredded. He's built so much muscle. These days, I've actually cut down to mostly 2 meals every day, and if you look at me, I would say I'm super built and I'm in great shape. And so I think this idea of needing to eat 5 meals a day in order to build muscle is a lie. Now, I do understand, like, if you are in high school and you're super active, you're playing a sport every season, you're going to the gym every day, you do need to be fueling yourself enough, and that is hard. But I would recommend trying to get most of your nutrition in those 2-3 meals a day, as opposed to having to do it through 5 meals a day. If you do need some extra snacks here and there, I understand, and as long as you're eating clean, chances are that won't be the worst thing for you to do. But our ancestral eating habits were about feast and famine. They weren't about constantly bombarding yourself with more food. But this also leads me into my third biggest nutrition mistake back in high school, which is not eating enough food. So maybe this contradicts my last one in some regard, But when I was in high school and I would hear people talk about cutting calories or cutting out certain food groups, I used to think that I had to do these things in order to be healthy. But I was playing 3 sports, which meant multiple sports every season. If you're including travel teams, AAU teams, on top of my high school teams, this meant that I was constantly going from one activity to the next. And on top of that, having to go to school.
School is for chumps.
Working out every day, I needed a lot of fuel in order to build muscle and to maintain muscle as well, and to give myself the energy to even go through school and to go about my daily activities. And so for someone like me to be cutting calories wasn't the best idea and wasn't the smartest idea for me to do, because I needed a lot more nutrition, I needed a lot more calories than the average person. And so this is why it's so important to customize your diet and to customize your lifestyle to your own needs. And that's to be just blindly following whatever this website says or whatever this magazine says. Understand your personal needs and to tailor your nutrition to those needs. And once again, this also ties into eating the most nutrient dense foods as possible, because this is going to fulfill you, it's going to sustain you. And so by just filling up on whatever bodybuilder type nutrition is out there, whether that be tons of protein bars or tons of protein powders, or just getting as much protein as you can without having any micronutrients.
Stupid, that's what it is. You gotta be stupid to do something like that.
This is going to be detrimental to your health, and it's not going to fuel you properly. And this also could tie into this idea that carbohydrates were the enemy, which is still going on these days. Carbohydrates are essential for your brain and they're essential for your muscles in order to perform explosive movements. And the whole thing is, if you don't eat enough carbohydrates, your body and your brain are going to find other ways to make them, and are going to find other ways to pull them from protein, which is not nearly as efficient as just eating them through carbohydrates. And especially as a high school student, as a growing boy, you do not want to be cutting carbohydrates, as I tried for a period of time. Carbs are not the enemy. They're so important for producing energy for your athletics, for your weight room goals, and if you're cutting them out, you're going to be missing out on a lot of gains. But like, once again, keep in mind, they need to be coming from high quality sources, not just whatever powders are out there, and not just filling up on empty calories, on so many grains, and not eating fruit, because fruit is essential. And so once again, just as I said that not all calories are created equal, not all carbohydrates are created equal also. Eating cake or eating Oreos is going to be different from eating fruit, or from eating properly prepared sourdough bread, or having sweet potatoes or rice, which is easy to break down for your body, and it's going to be providing your body with nutrient-dense calories, full of vitamins, full of minerals, that are going to sustain you throughout the day. Because also the other piece to this is, when you're eating more nutrient-dense foods, you're not going to be needing to eat as often, as I've actually learned within the past few years, as compared to like back when I was in high school. Back when I was in high school,
Gee, I can't wait till I go to high school.
I used to feel like there was this endless pit in my stomach that I just like had to constantly be eating, even though I was always eating high quality nutritious foods, and even though I was in great shape and whatnot. But like, what I've learned these past few years is that when you're eating more nutrient dense, when you're eating organic, when you're eating high quality foods, and when you're filling up at every meal on those foods, you're not going to be needing to eat as often, and you're not going to be hungry all the time, because your hormones are going to be intact. This also ties into detoxification and getting your gut microbiome in order, because when your gut microbiome is out of balance, then you're also going to be craving things a lot more often, and everything is going to be out of whack. Also, one step further, low fat diets are very dangerous for you also. So like back when I was in high school, this was like on the cusp of the keto versus the low fat phase.
Maybe it's that yogurt. No, that's 100% non-fat.
As the trends are always shifting back and forth. But when I was in high school, I used to hear all these people talking about eating a low fat diet because fat makes you fat.
Oh, guess again, Tubby.
But what I've learned is that fat does not make you fat. Eating good high quality, whether it be animal fats, saturated fats, coconut oil, ghee, high quality grass-fed meats, pasture-raised chickens, avocado oil, olive oil, etc., etc. When you're eating high quality fats, this is going to be so important for hormone production. This is going to be important for fueling parts of your brain as well. This is going to be essential for filling your body up. And once again, maybe this is one of the reasons why I was always so hungry back in high school, is because even though I was trying my best to eat healthy foods, I was also avoiding a lot of high quality fats. And as many of us know, fats are the most caloric dense nutrients. So when we're eating enough of these in the right omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid ratios, or we could also be getting these from properly prepared nuts and seeds and the right right oils once again. If we're avoiding these, we're going to be missing out on high quality nutrition, our hormones are going to be messed up, and we're going to be hungry more often because we're not going to be filling ourselves up in the proper macronutrient ratios. Number 4, the fourth nutrition mistake that I used to make back in high school was eating in stressed out states and not realizing that when you are stressed, your body can't digest foods properly. And trust me, this is definitely a tough one to control, especially with everything I had going on back in high school. I had so much stuff going on. I was barely even able to sleep at all.
But the master slept only 20 minutes every 3 hours. Now that works out to 2.5 extra days that I'm awake per week, every week.
I had so many different stressors on me, and I know that plenty of you out there, whether you're high school students or whether you're grown-ups working at stressful jobs, I know that we all have so many stressors in our lives these days, and so it's not always easy to eat in a relaxed state. But just know that if you're always eating on the go, if you're never able to sit down and have a relaxing, peaceful meal with good company or with good music or a good podcast, then you're going to be messing with your body's ability to break down that food and turn that food into energy. It's just going to mess with your digestion.
Sorry, Squidward, I couldn't wait any longer. I gotta use your toilet. No questions.
And you're going to end up with plenty of issues as a result. So if you can, do your best to try to eat in the most relaxed states possible. Maybe even take some deep breaths before you start eating your meals. Put on some good relaxing music, put on a podcast. If you're with family, this is awesome. Enjoy your meal. If you're with friends, talk to them, have a great conversation, because eating in a relaxed state is going to benefit your body so much. It's going to allow your body to absorb whatever nutrition is in those foods. It's going to give you other nutrition in other ways, because nutrition goes beyond just food, as I mentioned numerous times in this podcast in the past. You also need to nourish your soul, you need to nourish your spirit. And so going back to high school, unfortunately for me, I was always eating on the go. I was always going from one sport to the next, from one school activity to the next. And so the school system in a lot of ways doesn't promote rest and digest. It actually promotes a stressful worker bee lifestyle, which is not good for you. And doing this is going to lead to plenty of problems. So do your best to prioritize taking a break from everything else. Try to clear your mind, empty your head.
Empty your mind. Be formless.
And when you are eating, try to eat in the most relaxed state possible. This is also going to make sure that you don't overeat, because you're actually going to be able to listen to your body. You're going to be able to listen to your body's signals, as opposed to just shoving down whatever food has to go down right before you get out of the car and you go play soccer or basketball or track. But I definitely believe I would have been better off if I was actually able to eat in a more relaxed, calm, peaceful state. And lastly, the fifth and final nutrition mistake that I used to make back in high school was thinking that fortified vitamins and protein powders were the same as getting them from foods. So back when I was in high school, I used to think, oh, vitamins and minerals are great. So therefore, if I eat this many cereals, which I used to love, such as Total or any of the other cereals that are out there that claim to have this many vitamins and this many percentages of your vitamins and minerals for the day, I used to think that doing that was healthy, because in school, where they teach you that vitamins are healthy. So therefore, I would try to get as many of these vitamins as possible. But what I didn't realize is that fortified vitamins or synthetic vitamins and supplements are never going to be the same, and are never going to be as good for you as coming from whole food sources, or even whole food supplements, such as ancestral organ supplements, or any of the supplements that come from Touchstone Essentials. But your body processes them differently, and as I spoke about in that nutrition video talking about how not all calories are created equal, when you're supplementing with vitamins, or when you're getting them from fortified sources as opposed to natural whole food sources, you're going to be increasing the needs for other vitamins, because when you don't get vitamins from whole food sources, which are already in their proper ratios, you could be increasing the need for one vitamin, and then that's going to increase the need for another vitamin. And so it's a very bad cycle that you don't want to go down. And going into protein powders, many protein powders out there, especially the ones that aren't from high quality sources and the ones that aren't organic, many of these are going to be laden with heavy metals. They're going to be full of toxic ingredients, toxic chemicals that you don't want in your bodies. I don't care how old you are, if you're a high school student who's trying to gain muscle, or if you're an older person who's trying to gain muscle, taking these bodybuilder supplements, which you don't even know half of the ingredients that actually go into them.
Trust me on this one. You don't want to know.
You could be messing up your whole digestive system. You could be filling yourself up with toxins. You could be filling yourself up with complete garbage that doesn't get digested properly, and that ends up making you gassy, bloated.
Huh. That's an unusual feeling.
And then you're not able to perform as well as you want in the activity that you actually got that protein powder for. Trust me, I know from experience.
I know from experience, dude.
you know what I mean.
Most protein powders out there are actually dangerous, are toxic, and are full of horrible ingredients. They're not sourced properly, and most of that stuff is just complete garbage. And so I would recommend, as much as you can, get as much of your nutrition as possible from whole food sources. And if you do need some extra supplementation, make sure that those supplements are from organic, highest quality sources, not just your run-of-the-mill protein powder, which is coming from bodybuilder.com, and that you're only taking because the person on the box looks super strong. Most of the people who are on the boxes didn't get that way by eating hundreds of grams of protein powder. Most of them got that way through either steroids.
I got a big problem, man. This boy's on steroids. He got a head like Barry Bonds.
Through dangerous methods, through some extracurriculars, as Don Mazzetti calls them, but the ones who actually did it the right way, through hard work, through eating right, through eating high quality food sources, those are going to be the healthy ones. Those are going to be the ones who you should look up to. Not just eating as much whey protein as possible, but like actually fueling up on the proper sources of protein, getting them from whole foods, not just doing it the cheap way, the fast way, because as I've learned in life, there are no shortcuts, and any shortcuts that you do take have consequences. Most people do not need hundreds of grams of protein from these weight gainer, from these protein supplements, and even if those supplements do help you gain muscle, they're going to be at the expense of your health, and I don't think that's a very good trade-off. So do things the old-fashioned way, work hard, eat right, eat clean, get high quality protein sources from foods as much as you can, and same thing when it comes to vitamins and minerals. And if you do need any extra help, as you guys know, I do believe that certain high quality supplements do have a lot of benefits, as I've learned on my healing journey, but most of the ones that you guys are going to be hearing about aren't going to be the best sources and aren't going to be ideal for your bodies. I know it's not easy to be healthy in this current society, but the more good knowledge, the more good information we have out there, the better off I hope we'll all be. And so if I could do my part in helping people to overcome these mistakes, and if I could help some of you out there so that this way you don't have to go through the trials and tribulations that I've been through, then I've done my job and I'm doing my part in making people healthier, happier, more vibrant people. So anyways guys, that's the video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if this video helps you. Let me know if I missed any mistakes out there. I hope that you guys can learn from my mistakes when I was back in high school and can become your healthiest, your strongest, your most fit, your most properly fueled selves possible. Anyways, love you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and we out here. Peace.